Hi there, Joka here with my projects with the Spellbinders March 2024 large die kit, as well as the 3D embossing folder of this month. And I'm also going to show you some projects with about using some products that are new to me. Those are just gonna be at the end of the video, like extra projects. So let's start with the large die kit that you can see here. I always forget to check the PDF what the name of the kit is, but I'm guessing something along the lines of a fairy tale, or that's what it looks like to me, and books and such. And while I have not seen all of the kits this month, I believe they are kind of around the book theme. I think that's my guess. At least the small die kit as well. And this castle is, I believe, an extra gift that those get that are subscribed to all of the kits, which I forget the name of. Is it Caboodle or something? And I also wanted to show you a bunch of new products, or new to me. There is this set of, it's a paper pack, but it's not the same quality cardstock that you get when you buy one single color. This is slightly thinner. I think it was 80 pounds, so that's why I showed you what it looks like when you bend it. But I went ahead and used these ones, but I did add some other color, I think yellow colors. And then this is the 3D embossing folder of the month. I think it's wonderful. You really can use this for any theme. Those are my favorite ones. Simple background that is just gonna give you some interesting texture. So that's what I'm starting out with. I'm creating 5 by 7 inch cards, and just while I'm gonna have a few informations that I want to say. I'm just gonna have to find time when there's nothing interesting happening. But what I'm doing here, you've seen me do before. I am adding a double-sided tape and a panel of heavyweight white cardstock to straighten my embossed panel, because always, well, I use water and the paper gets wet, and when it dries it's never flat for me, and I like when everything is nice and straight. So this is how I straighten it. I know there are other options. I know I don't need to use this much water. I believe somebody suggested wet wipes. I keep forgetting buying any, and I don't have small children anymore, so I don't have wet wipes on hand. So this is, I guess I'm so used to it, I don't even think about an alternative, which probably would be better, but yeah. So while this is, none of these projects is gonna look very special or very difficult, they took me a ton of time for one reason, because I die cut so many layers. Well, I die cut 2 of everything. I would have done this anyway, I think, but I did it because of the papers. They are thinner. But normally I anyway do it, even if I use a heavyweight cardstock. So I did every layer, I die cut twice. This way I have some dimension on those books. You can see it here as well. I already put the foam tape there. And when I turn everything around, you can see that I use a layer of white cardstock. I'm actually not sure why I'm using, well, I know why I'm using the heavyweight cardstock. I just don't know why I'm using the white, because actually at this point, that is probably more expensive paper than the rest that I'm using. But I don't know, I'm so used to it. So yeah, I am creating this little house you could add, there's the chimney, and I assume it's the smoke, but I did not use these two pieces. But what I wanted to say is that you could add multiple colors to this house, but I just kept it like two different craft color cardstock, because I am adding color to the books. So that's gonna be my colorful part. And what I'm showing here is that to some of them I added thinner foam tape, to others a bit thicker, and some I didn't add anything. It's already 4 layers of paper, so it's gonna be anyway dimensional. But I wanted it to have a little bit of variation, which probably in real life would be my pet peeve. I can imagine myself, well, maybe that's my dad. He would organize his books like that all the time. They cannot have 1 millimeter off, you know, a bit OCD, I think. But on the project, it just looked better to me doing it this way. Now, the trees, I am trying to kind of do symmetrical, though you can't because that you are using the same dies on both sides, well, except for the trunk, but the leaves is or canopy, maybe. So anyway, you use the same dies for those. So I'm just trying to set it up in a way that they look similar. And because I did too many books, I stacked up too many books, I don't have space for the whole tree, so I had to trim it off. And then here and there I'm adding a thin foam tape just to make the surfaces flush, and so nothing is gonna collapse in the mail if I ever decide to mail these. I actually cannot think of anybody among my friends that is a huge reader other than my dad. Yeah, maybe I should have made it for my dad. Yeah, he even has a birthday coming up. Well, I did not think of that, but yeah, books is not my thing. I love books the way they look, and I love the smell. Don't hate me. But yeah, I just don't have time for it, honestly. If I maybe 48 hours a day, even then I probably wouldn't. I guess we all have different hobbies. But I do love the look. So as you can see, I kind of went with a, well, I would say rainbow, but it's not really a rainbow, right? But it's a bunch of colors. Most of the colors are from the spring pack that I showed you earlier, except for the yellows. I needed some yellows to make it a bit more bold, so to say. But the other colors are really from that. And this also makes no sense that I put all those all the foliage at the top. I'll come back to that. This, well, I don't know if you're gonna follow my thoughts here. Fairy tale, wedding, that sort of thing, you know. I did not know what else, what goes with books if it's not very specific, you know. I don't have any book themed sentiments. So I was going through the sentiments I already had foiled before, and I found this one. I don't know if it's still available. I'm gonna have to check, but I thought, yeah, you know, it goes with the fairy tale theme maybe, although I don't know anybody who is gonna get married or anything. And then this one is just a very generic, you know, theme. So I added it to I don't think it's, you know, this label die, I don't think it's coming with the sentiment. I think I just had those in one bag. I'm gonna have to look around on the Spellbinders site and see if this is still available. They are older sets, and honestly I really have to sort out my die sets, but I just never have time. Anyway, so those were the 2 cards. Now I'm gonna move on to some simple projects. I wanted to show you these paper packs from Paper Rose that I received, and what I'm trying to show you there, I don't know how much you can pick that up, that these are not the kind of papers that you might expect if you deal with scrapbook paper. I mean, this is not what I expected them to be. I don't want to... Okay, so they are glossy. Maybe you can see that they are glossy. I don't know much about paper, but I do remember I did want to create my own papers a few years back, and this is exactly what I was offered, and they called them digitally printed papers. I will be honest, that was not what I wanted. What I wanted was actually offset printed, from what I remember. I am not 100% sure, but because that was a completely different process and huge amounts of stock that I would have to order, that just fell through. So that is all I know about this type of paper, and so it was a surprise to me when I opened this pack. But I did try to work with it. It's different. For me, it's different. I'm not used to it. But it did glue. I did manage to glue it, as you can see. I actually decided to die cut from the papers. These 2 shapes that I'm using on all the cards that I'm doing now are from the large die kit. So these are the 2 different leaves. I mean, on this card is 1, and another card will focus on the other leaf. These are beautiful designs on the paper, and this whole pack was just wood grain in rainbow colors, and then different patterns like chevron and just wood planks. It's really fun, but I was worried about the glossy thing, because again, I can only talk about papers that I know, and I only was I started scrapbooking in 2015, I believe, and finished maybe in 2020 or so. I know some papers before that time, but they were mostly similar in weight and in texture and in finish. And those papers were very different. They were not glossy, so yeah, I don't know much about it. I can only compare to that. And those papers I used, obviously, I still use them from that time. I have not bought new collection, so I don't know if scrapbook paper right now, or you know, when you buy the new collections, I don't know if they are still the same quality. I cannot speak to that. So I can only compare this with that. And those papers I use for layering all the time. So you've seen me create cards with pattern papers where I die cut everything from pattern papers and then I layer them up and everything like that. I just use it as colored paper. Here I did not there. I'm sure it works, but you know me, you know that I have this pet peeve with glue and glossy surfaces. I did not try. I actually wanted to test it, but for some reason I forgot. Here I'm actually, if you see, I am adding glue and kind of layer them on top of each other, but I did not try to pull them apart later, like a few days later. I did not try to pull it apart and see how well that glued. But they did not fall apart. I mean, I was actually looking at the cards today. I made them, I think, last week or so. Obviously, they did not fall apart, but I did not pull them apart either. I don't know why I forgot to test. I even had it in my mind that I'm gonna just layer, like, I just glue together 2 layers of, or just 2 small pieces of paper. And then once they dry, I'll try to pull them apart, but I totally forgot about it. Anyway, so maybe many of you already know this type of paper, and it's not going to be anything new to you. I just wanted to mention this. I know it was a whole lot of mention or long, but I wanted to mention this in case you order. All of these papers will be this kind of quality, I think. Although I only have 2 packs, I assume all of them are the same, and they have a lot of designs, all kinds of topics and themes and colors, and I think I even saw some like more masculine ones, I think, or maybe they were just black and white, I don't know. But there's a lot in the Spellbinders shop, so it's worth checking out if you want. And I think they also come in 12 by 12 and maybe even with embellishments. If you like patterned papers, check them out. They have wonderful designs. So in this case, I just went with the colors. So, just trying to create some kind of rainbows here. And again, I'm struggling with the sentiments, as you can see. So I pulled out a sentiment from a recent, or maybe from last year, large die kit, and it's a simple die cut sentiment with a label, so that's what I'm using. And because I was talking about completely different things, these 3 cards are A2 size, and on this one I use one of the leaves from the large die kit, and as you can see, I just created kind of like a semi-circle sort of thing. I did not want to create a wreath. I've made that so many times. I don't know, I wanted something else. Now this 3rd card, as you can see, I embossed, but not with the 3D, just a normal embossing folder, also from Spellbinders, and I'm using the back side of it because I did not add water. Again, I didn't want to ruin it. I don't know how it fares with the glossy type of surface. I don't know. So I just used a normal 2D embossing folder, and it kind of broke the paper apart on the other side. So that's why I'm using the back side, but the back side is perfect. So it's good for me. And because I really like the pattern of the paper, this wood plank and the stripes with the colors, I also wanted to keep one like this. So I decided to just die cut white leaves for it, to decorate it. And that's what I'm doing. So I'm creating 2 clusters in opposite corners, and that's gonna be pretty much it. So I did not want to create an extra video for these 3 cards because they are so simple. Really use just 2 dies, 2 small tiny dies that I repeatedly cut, and I'm just layering and on the first card as well, I just try to basically use all the colors that there was in this paper pack, and I was just kind of trying to figure out what kind of design I could come up with just that one die, instead of a wreath, because that was the only thing that I did not want to do. So they are super simple. I'm kind of I'm almost embarrassed, you know, it's not the kind of thing I normally do. So that's why I decided to just leave this in this video as an extra project. Basically, I'm using the large die, but I also wanted to show you some new products. One of which is this one. This I'm really excited about. It's white splatter. It's actually supposed to be water, what is it called? Watercolor. Again, I don't know anything about paint, so don't come for me. What I did here, I added some water to it, and it's still super thick. And I used it as acrylic paint. It felt like acrylic paint. Apparently it's opaque. I did not try it as watercolor, so I didn't water it down and didn't try it. So I only know, and I wasted that. I'm trying to pick up whatever fell on that towel, because it's a very, very small bottle, just like you're used to with watercolor. You really don't need much. So I'm guessing that's why it's so small, but I love the white splatter, and I actually have very little white acrylic paint left, so this is perfect. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say, and here are the 2 book cards. I hope I could give you some ideas, and I hope I could help you with some of the new products if you had any questions. But if you have more questions, please feel free to either drop me a message or comment here. And yeah, that's it for today. And I also have a video with the small die kit as well, if you want to check it out. And yeah, that's it. I don't know if I have more videos coming up this month. If not, then I'll see you in April, I think. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.